welcome to another edition of Toddster's Magical Mystery Review. I'm your host Toddster, and today we're going to take a look at John Lennon and Yoko Ono, Milk and Honey. It came out 9th of January 1984 on Polydor Records, and yes, this was supposed to be the follow-up to Double Fantasy, and they were already working on this album once they finished Double Fantasy, but then I guess a couple years after John's death, Yoko decided to put this out and recruited the same people that helped out working on Double Fantasy for her songs, and yeah. So, but just as I did with the Double Fantasy, I'm just gonna cover John's material in here. So yeah, I know, but here we go. So first up is I'm Stepping Out. Yes, just as in Watching the Wheels. Yeah, this song also talks about John's house husband period, which and it's an okay tune. And then I Don't Want to Face It, which if you come to think of it, it sounds a little bit like Paul's Coming Up, and I guess that sort of inspired John to write this song. Maybe, you know, he was a little bit jealous of Paul or something like that. But as far as the song, it's okay, you know, bit of so-so. But then we go into the lead-off single and best-known song on the album, Nobody Told Me. And yet John wrote this originally for Ringo, for the Stop and Smell the Roses album. And yet the lyrics here are very interesting. You know, the little yellow idol from Kathmandu is supposed to be from a poem called The Green Eye of the Yellow God. And it also mentions John's encounter with a UFO that he saw back in '74. You know, there's a UFO over New York, and I ain't too surprised. And yet, I think the chorus may be inspired by the Shirelles' Mama Said. You know, Mama said there'll be days like these. Nobody told me there'll be days like these. You know, but it's a great song, and then we go to the second side, Borrowed Time, which was inspired by John's holiday in Bermuda, when he was steering a yacht during a severe storm, and that sort of triggered him to, you know, get all these ideas of these new songs. And it's also inspired by a reggae song, Hallelujah Time. And yet the lyrics sort of reflect how fragile his life was, you know, when he was younger. But then, but it also talks about how happy he is by this time. You know, good to be older and all that. And then we go into Forgive Me, My Little Flower Princess, which nothing much to say about this one. So and then Grow Old With Me. Oh yes, this is a lovely ballad, and yet was inspired by a Robert Browning poem, which you know, he and Yoko were into at that time, and yet John only recorded this as a demo, just him on the piano and a little drum machine to play along, and he was planning to do a proper recording of it into the new year, but of course it never happened. So and it was also one of the songs that was suggested for Paul, George and Ringo to work on for the anthology project, but that didn't work out. But yeah, but still, it's a gorgeous song, wonderful song, and sort of melts your heart a bit. So yeah, then so that's Milk and Honey. Well, John's side of Milk and Honey. Uh, yeah, it's just like I was, just like in Double Fantasy. It's another great batch of songs. You know, even if they're like rehearsal type, run through type uh, uh, takes, it sort of gives like a more loosening feel. You know, from you know the you know, sort of like a stripped down version of this. But yeah, I could only imagine how it'd be like if this was fully finished. Get a little, put some fairy dust over the bastard. Some, you know. Thank you, Trugs. Yeah. So as far as my rating, I'm gonna give this. Well, for John's songs, I'm gonna give this 3 Johns out of 5. So 3 Johns for Milk and Honey. And so, yeah, there you go. So, my name is Toddster, and you just watched another magical mystery review. And we'll see you next time. Until then, toodaloo.